Larry Bird talked, everybody knows that part. What people forget is how specific it was. Not generic chirping, but exact predictions, exact insults, delivered with a calm that somehow made it worse for whoever was on the receiving end. He talked to opponents. He talked to coaches. He even, on occasion, talked to entire benches at once. But talk alone never made anyone a legend. What separated Bird was the second half of the equation. He backed up almost every single word he ever said, in real time, in front of everybody who heard him say it. The stories that follow come from the men who were actually there to see it happen. Some of them are famous. Some of them are stories you've genuinely never heard before. All of them explain, piece by piece, why nobody who ever shared a court with Larry Bird has stopped talking about it. As a parting gift to the Dan Patrick Show, Dan asked Danny Ainge for a Larry Bird story, as he often does. And Ainge, reminiscent, didn't hesitate to jump into a lesser-told story regarding a trainer for the New York Knicks.
You got a Larry Bird story for us before we let you go? One I haven't heard.
Oh, man, I got so many Larry Bird stories. You know, like, the greatest thing about Larry, I mean, every time I just think of Larry, I just think of the extreme confidence of Larry. You know, I always thought I was confident. You know, I always thought Kevin McHale was confident, but Larry just had a different level of
But he would
confidence.
tell guys that he was going to shoot in their face, like, I'm going to do this. I was always amazed that, you know, guys would say,
yeah.
Larry would say, like Xavier McDaniel, you know, he told me he's going to shoot a jumper right in my face, right there.
Yeah, no, I remember that whole story vividly, but there was a lesser told story where he made a bet with the trainer of the New York Knicks, and before the game, we were out shooting Larry and I were shooting threes before the game, and Larry, he said, "Hey, I'll bet you $20 you can't bank one in like that in the game." And Larry goes, "You're on." And so the game proceeds, and we're we get ahead by about 20 points the fourth quarter. Our bench comes in the game, and all of a sudden, you know, the Knicks are starting to creep back in the game, but it still feels like we have the game under control. And the trainer for the Knicks looks down at me and, you know, says, like, get Larry his attention. He sends him the sign, like, you owe me $20. You never banked in a three-pointer. And Larry goes, crap, I can't believe I forgot that, you know. And so sure enough, the game gets down to 7 points, I think it was, and Casey Jones puts the starters back in the game. And within the first 2 or 3 possessions, Larry gets a shot on the corner and banks in a three-pointer. At that stage of the game, I mean, with a close game, I could see it with a 20-point lead, but, I mean, I got so many of the confidence stories like that, but that's just, he cared more about that $20 bet than he did the game.
He was so cheap. I could just imagine. I didn't want to owe him $20.
Bird's competitive fire didn't disappear when he traded his jersey for a suit and clipboard. As head coach of the Indiana Pacers, he brought the same no-nonsense mentality to the sideline that made him legendary as a player. This short clip captures exactly what that looked like in practice. A coach who wasn't playing games, literally or figuratively. Here is Chris Mullin to explain it.
Talk shit like crazy, but quietly, only to you.
Right.
Which would mess you up, not just to you, and which messes you up more.
Yeah.
But as a coach, be on time, play unselfish, and play hard. Sounds silly, but
a lot of people
let me
have
tell
a
you
hard time
something.
doing that.
I was there 3 seasons. We had one guy late, one time, and that's it. We're playing preseason, Larry's first year coaching. We're leaving Indiana, going to Nashville for a preseason game. It's like 10:58. Everyone's on the plane. David Craig, the trainer, comes up to Larry. Yes. Travis and Dale, they're in the jetway or whatever. What time is it? It's 11. Wheels up. So the plane's running down, taking off. Travis and Dale are running after the plane.
Running?
Running, literally. We took off. Everyone's like, save Dale, save Dale. After that day, though, no one ever late again. That was preseason, which was perfect timing.
Yep.
Larry was so blunt and to the point. Halftime, he'd be like, you fucking stars don't start playing, man. In 5 minutes, I'm taking your ass out. I remember a game in Milwaukee. I'm like 4 for 9, whatever. I'm playing great, but not. He said, Mully, come here. You gonna make a fucking shot or what, man? Just keep it real simple. Yeah. And what I liked about Larry, he really empowered his assistant coach. We had Rick Carlisle in charge of offense. Yep. Now, Rick would draw the plays up in the timeout, and everyone thought Larry told him what play he wanted. He just wasn't an artist.
Right.
Well, he was doing everything, but he empowered his assistants.
Late in a tied game against the Seattle Supersonics, Bird told Supersonics forward Xavier McDaniel exactly what was going to happen, and then it happened.
Yeah, he said, I'm going to get it right here. I'm going to shoot it right in your face.
5, and Bird has the basketball. Look out. 2 seconds on the clock.
And, he was like, I didn't mean to leave 2 seconds on the clock. I walked back to the sideline like, damn.
Larry Bird, just phenomenal the way that he will contribute in the clutch time.
At the end of a road trip in a year where Bill Walton was able to be on the same team as Larry Bird, Larry did something truly remarkable and decided that it was time to play an entire game left-handed. Here is the story through the eyes of the late Bill Walton.
At the end of one of the trips, he had accomplished every goal. We hadn't lost a game on the trip. And Larry told all of us players and the media too, we were all standing around waiting to leave. And he said, tomorrow night's the last game of the trip. I'm going to play this one left-handed at least through 3 quarters.
What a performance by Bird!
And at the end of 3 quarters, the next night in Portland against poor Jerome Kersey, he had 27 points left-handed. And it was a remarkable performance.
Magic Johnson was injured in one matchup with the Celtics, but that didn't stop Bird going over to have a word. Because he wasn't going to be able to school Magic Johnson on the court, he decided that he wanted to turn him into a spectator and put on a show for him.
And I got a pulled hamstring, so I'm not playing tonight. He walks down to me, and I'm sorry you're not playing, but he said, I'm going to tell you what, since you're here, I'm going to put a show on for you. So you just sit back and watch, okay? And I'm like, man, get out of my face, man. I want to hear that. That's Celtics and the Lakers. Every time he hit one, he look at me.
If you were to ask most people around the basketball world, they wouldn't hesitate to tell you that they would take prime LeBron James over anyone in basketball history, except for maybe Jordan. But when Dan Patrick asked John Sally about whether he would take James or Bird at their best, he picked Bird in a heartbeat. He didn't even think about it.
I'm going to give you Larry Bird in his prime or LeBron in his prime.
Larry Bird.
That's a quick answer.
Do you remember? I know I have nightmares. Do you? Do you have nightmares?
Yes, I was there in the 80s.
Yes.
I was there.
Me too.
I was there covering. Well, I was covering the Celtics. You were trying to cover the Celtics.
And Larry loved me, man. Larry was so cool with me because, me, Lenny, Mike Brown, we would, Red Auerbach would have us come play in their camp when Red Auerbach was bringing in guys from country. I said, you were playing where? I was playing in Pennsylvania. No, so it was like he was bringing in these grown men who were like, I want this job. And we were playing every night, Kevin McHale. And I was like, oh, they don't even know how much I'm a Celtic fan. They have no idea, but I played it cool. But then Larry would, man, I remember at the end of the game, I had never seen this. Larry had more ice on. He looked like an Eskimo. Like it was like this, and he would talk to you. Ice everywhere.
Why?
And then come out because he had iced his knees, iced his ankles, iced his shoulder, ice on his back, ice on his neck. And he'd be sitting in that locker room just covered in ice. And then the next day, he would come in as if he was not hurting. And just the thing that reminds me of Larry that I saw last night is the way Luka shoots the ball. That hole right here.
Behind your head.
And it's here the whole time. And it's the follow through, and it finds the rim every time. That was a crazy thing when I watched that last night.
Did you guard Bird?
Yeah.
Okay.
Successfully? No. Did I guard him? Yes, but no. This is.
But if he liked you, probably didn't talk trash to you.
Oh, he talked it all the time. He was constantly constantly talking. Like it was a trip that even I looked at the video when Dennis Rodman's leg gets caught in his neck and Bill Lambert, he goes down and he's punching Bill. The first person I went to grab was Larry to pull him off. And then DJ grabs me. I said, I'm trying to get him off him. And then we get out the way and I mind my business. Because, at that time, I'm totally not understanding everything. But Larry was, he would talk and he would say, Sal, you better ask for a double team, bro. And there's, I was like, when are you going to keep when are you going to let these people know you're a black guy from Indiana? When are you going to do that? Stop this whiteness. What are you doing?
Yeah, but then he would have been just another black player, according to Dennis Rodman. Whoa! Callback or Isaiah.
Callback.
Yeah.
Callback.
Just another.
Was he so wrong? Was he so wron?
So Bird would have been just another black player if he was black.
I remember when that happened, right?
I was there. I know. And I was like, oh my God. That was a hot topic, though, John, at the time.
And again on the Dan Patrick Show, but this time a different player telling one. We have John Stockton telling one of the most iconic Larry Bird stories, when he told the other team the exact amount of points he wanted to score that night.
Bird never said anything?
Well, he did, but not to me. I remember as a rookie, he came in, he walked by our bench at the Salt Palace and said, I feel like 43 tonight. And he came out, he scored 43 in the third quarter and checked himself out with a 20-point victory, and I was fairly impressed with that one.
So he just picks a random number, I feel like 43. And he says it to the bench?
Yeah. It was fairly impressive, especially when he backed it up.
What connects every one of these moments is the same simple truth. Bird never said anything he couldn't deliver on, not once. The point was that they always came true. That's the difference between trash talk and what Larry Bird actually did. Anyone can talk. Bird made a career out of being right. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share the episode if you enjoyed, and we will see you in the next one.